rhythm between tensions is what makes democracy democracy. If the same people win every time, that's not democracy. See, when the same side wins every time, that's called totalitarianism. In China, they're also having a transition of power. There were no contentious debates. There were no people screaming back and forth on the television. There was no, neighbors butting heads across the fence. They just transitioned the power. It was easy. Because in China, the same people win every time. But that's not democracy. Democracy is about this rhythm and this tension between different ideas. And so as a result of that, we have Carter, and then we have Reagan, and then we have Bush, and then we have, Clinton, and then we have Bush again, and then we have Obama. It's called democracy. What a concept. And it's about tension, and it's about rhythm, and it's one of the things that's made us a great nation. If either side, the left or the right, if either side took over for good and that was it, and it was a settled matter, then we'd be toast. We would no longer be the United States of America. We need this tension between conservative and liberal, between left and right, to keep ourselves on the right road. See, the problem is this, that most of us have come to the place, and this is why we have so much trouble now. Most of us have come to the place in this country where we live under this delusion. And the delusion says that we, my team, our guys, we are all goodness and light. But they are all darkness and evil. Come on, man. Really? I mean, are we really that naive? I mean, this delusion that we're living under is what causes the tension between us. Both sides have expounded some great moral principles, and both sides have some great moral failings. And unless we can acknowledge that and live within this rhythm and tension, then we're going to be in real trouble. In Ecclesiastes 3, Solomon says this: "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." A time for everything. There's a time for left, and there's a time for right. There's a time for conservatives. There's a time for liberals. There's a time for Republicans to screw everything up, and there's a time for Democrats to screw everything up. And it's the way democracy is, this tension between these two things. The other things that I think helps us to understand is that the Bible, and we have to know this, the Bible is bigger than any political ideology. It's much bigger than that. The Bible is not an either-or book. It's not that simplistic. It's a wonderfully complicated book and a vast compendium of wisdom and knowledge. And it looks from things at all kinds of different angles, all kinds of different directions. So we need to know that the Bible, historically, has been the source for the great conservative ideals. And the Bible has been the source for the great liberal ideals. The Bible is a book that promotes traditional values. And the Bible is a book that encourages us to challenge traditional thinking. The Bible is a book that has inspired most of history's greatest conservative thinkers. And the Bible is a book that has inspired most of history's great liberal thinkers. The Bible is a book about adherence to the standards that society sets, and the Bible is a book about respect for differences and diversity. It's a book about social responsibility for everybody, and It's a book about social justice for everybody. The Bible is a book about law and order, and the Bible is a book about rebellion against the establishment. It's a book about punishment for sinners, and it's a book about the amazing liberal grace of God. And for those people who want to see the Bible as this one-sided political pamphlet, all I could say is, man, you got some nerve. If you want to see the Bible as this partisan political document, the only way you could do that is to ignore half of it. To treat the Bible as some kind of a one-dimensional voter's guide cheapens it, distorts it, degrades it, demeans it. It is a sin against it. And shame on conservatives for claiming it as theirs alone, and shame on liberals for abandoning it. This book is too big to be hijacked by any group, and it's too big to be ignored by any other group. And until we understand this, we are going to fail to be able to come together. This book is too big to be claimed by one side or the other. Well, the other thing that I want to talk about is simply, something we can all agree on, and that is that America is a great country. It is still the greatest country. But America was not made great by angry, partisan people. America was made great by the people who were able to pull us together. And folks, I want to tell you, it is time for us to stop listening to the partisan news hacks on our television and on our radio. Both right and left. Both do it. Both have these people out there on the airwaves. It is not journalism. It violates every standard of journalistic excellence. They are ranting, they are raving, they are hysterical. They demonize and they mischaracterize. They want you to walk in lockstep with an ideology instead of encouraging thoughtful discussion among us. And I don't care if it's, on the right or the left, if it's MSNBC or Fox News, if it's Rush Limbaugh or Reverend Al Sharpton, they all do the same thing. One is just as bad as the other. There's not a dime's worth of difference between them. They are all selling fear and hatred. It's their business model. It's how they make money. Now, I've challenged you on this before, and I know that it's a tough sell to get you to stop listening to someone you're comfortable with, someone who's part of your daily routine, someone that you know about. I know this. I know that I'm making so many of you so angry right now. And I'm taking a big risk because there's nothing more touchy than the subject about where we get our information. And I am not begrudging you an occasional rant in the privacy of your own home. But, if all we are going to do is listen to angry people who agree with us, then this country is doomed. And we've got to understand this. We've got to understand it. True patriotism is never easy. It's always really hard. True patriotism. It's not about sticking a flag on your porch. It's about sacrifice. It's always hard. Ask our veterans. They'll tell you this. But our greatest act of patriotism right now is just to listen, just to start listening. A couple of passages I'll read to you here and ask you how this applies to your cable news station. Proverbs chapter 11. A man who lacks judgment derides his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his tongue. In Isaiah chapter 8, Do not call conspiracy everything this people calls a conspiracy. Do not fear what they fear, and do not dread it. We need to listen to the words of Scripture. We need to listen, really listen to the people that we're listening to, and really hear how they sound. We need to listen to ourselves and hear how we sound. I mean, we need to listen to that. If you listen to yourself, you might begin to understand why you are freaking people out. Do you have any idea how scary you are? We need to listen to others. I mean, really listen to them. And take these filters off and hear them. And know them and learn their stories. People who are different, who think differently than we do. And we need most of all to listen to the voice of Jesus. Their voice. Those voices on the television, on the radio, that is not his voice. Their spirit is not his spirit. I think we all know this. The voice of Jesus is the voice of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. Now, does any of that sound like cable news to you? Me neither. Me neither. Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world," he said. "If it were, my followers would fight," he said. I'll tell you something, there's no perfect kingdom here. There's no perfect kingdom here. There never will be a perfect kingdom here. But Jesus is in control of history, and he has something bigger in mind. And our hope is not in any nation or in any political ideology. Our hope is in him and in his kingdom. And we are first, we are his followers.